Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. 500,000 people on strike. Well, I've got to say that that's a big number, but it's always relative to the population. If you have 500,000 people on strike out of, 5 million, it's one thing. But if you have 500,000 people out of 340 million, it's not that much. But it's still 500,000 people, 500,000 families have children, have obligations, have bills to pay, and so on. So, yeah, I guess it depends. It doesn't really matter how you look at it. It's still 500,000 people. All right, let's see. But it's the impact, though, that lives on the weasels out there. Keep their feet at the fire. I don't think that's going to work. But hey, let's see what's going on here. This article comes from Agence France Presse, and it's from February 1st, 2023. 500,000 strike in UK as cost of living crisis bites. Yes. That was the whole plan in Putin's game. But hey, I think the how do you call it, the leader's lack of performance and ability also played a role. But hey, let's see. 500,000 people stopped work over pay in Britain on Wednesday, leaving transport networks paralyzed and thousands of classrooms empty in the largest walkout in over a decade. As Europe battles a cost of living crisis, Britain's umbrella labor organization, the Trades Union Congress, TUC, called it the, and I'm calling, biggest day of strike action since 2011, end quote. Well, I hope you do something, union, because my direct experience with unions are, and not only, sometimes they have no teeth, and I don't know how much influence they have over there, but the bigger the union is, sometimes it seems to work better with the businesses when I'm talking about going friendly. The latest round of stoppages comes a day after more than 1.27 million took to the streets in France. So 1.27 million took to the streets in France. Increased pressure on the French government over pension reforms plans. Anything happened? No. This is how democracy works. You voted one time and they do whatever 5 times, or 5 times, 5 years, 4 years. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has called for pay rises to be, and I'm quoting, reasonable and affordable, warning that big pay hikes would jeopardize attempts to tame inflation. But how about those that aid that drains out of that country, going in towards east, southeast? But unions have accused millionaire Sunak, I have to say it, millionaire Sunak, of being out of touch with the challenges faced by ordinary working people struggling to make ends meet in the face of low-paid, insecure work and spiraling costs. Teachers and train drivers were among the latest groups to act, as well as border force staff at UK air and seaports. The NEU teaching union estimated 85% of schools in England and Wales had been hit by walkouts, adding that this indicated the, and I'm quoting, a level of anger in the profession, and I'm quoting, the workload is always bigger and bigger, and with inflation our salary is lower and lower, end quote. London teacher 57 Nigel Adams said. And I'm quoting again, we're exhausted, we're paying the price, and so are the children, end quote. He added as protesters held up placards reading, pay up, and we can't put your kids first if you put their teachers last. Now, it's a lot of people talking here about how upset they are. So just that's it with this. Now, government and companies' bosses are standing firm, however, over wage demands. Education Minister Gillian Keegan told Times Radio she was, and I'm quoting, disappointed teachers had walked out. These guys are just unbelievable. But you deal with them. I dealt with this kind of BS in my life, and they look at you as being a replaceable tool. When you are not functioning at their demand, they're gonna get another one. Yeah. But Mark Serwotka, head of PCS, the largest trade union in the civil service, said the government's position was unsustainable. And I'm quoting, "It's not feasible that they can sit back with the unprecedented amount of industrial action growing because it's 500,000 today," he told Sky News. "The next week we have paramedics and we have nurses, then we'll be firefighters," he added, warning that unions were prepared to strike throughout the summer. Asked what Prime Minister Sunak was doing to resolve the strikes, his official spokesman said inflation remained the biggest risk to paychecks and that the government was ready to hold more talks with unions to avert further strike actions. This is weaselship at its greatest level. They don't care, man. But he said minister had to balance union demands with the need not to further fuel inflation and be fair to all taxpayers. Yeah, it's so fair with all taxpayers. Yeah, okay. The latest official data shows 1.6 million working days were lost from June to November last year because of strikes, the highest 6-month total in more than 3 decades, according to the Official for National Statistics, ONS. A total of 467,000 working days were lost to walkouts in November alone, the highest level since 2011, the Office for National Statistics added. Alongside the strikes, unions also staged rallies across the country against the Conservative government's plan to legislate against public sector strike action. They're not going to let you strike or something? These guys are, you know how they are. That's the way they are. Starts with a cri, 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 cri. Cra, 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 cri, cri. Yeah. This is what's going to happen. They will stay in their offices with their feet on the desk, drinking tea or coffee and smoking their cigars, and talk about ladies of the night and what they drank, I don't know, at the club yesterday or whatever, and you guys are going to stay outside in the cold, in the wind, blowing your lungs out, saying that and saying that. And what can you do? What are you going to do? You're going to vote them out? Good luck with that. In what? In 2 years, 3 years? And by then, what's going to happen with your family? So this is something that I don't really, I don't want to say I don't get it. I disagree in a democratic system. You vote for someone now, and then you wait, 4 years until the weasel's mandate expires, or term, so you can vote him out then? Maybe. And what do you get in return? Your people who go over there, and once they go over there, they're going to switch like the other ones that, again, you thought they were your people. I mean, all these guys that are over there were your people at one point. Set aside the bureaucrats that are appointed by your people. They have their own jobs over there, but it's I don't think it's the sense of community. I think it's a sense of me and you and he and her, and it's no sense of community. It's no national pride anymore. But how can you have national pride? I mean, to have a national pride, you have to have values that are connected with your culture, with your nation. You can't make the pound over there, or you make just money and business and there's your values or whatever. It has to be something else. Why don't you turn the clock back about, I don't know, like 50 years and see? I think it was way different then with the national pride. If these guys right now would be in a war with Hitler, they wouldn't fight. Or the ones that would fight probably will be, I don't know, as communist Justin Trudeau said, a fringe minority with unacceptable views. He's in power over there. Can you believe? And he was voted. He was voted. That's what is great about the democratic system. We get to vote our representatives, and they're gonna represent our interests once they get over there. Because yes, but if you have empty hearts and empty morals and empty values and empty heads, or maybe not necessarily empty heads, but what I said before, then once they get over there, they say bye-bye to you. It's time for me to get my pockets full of money. So yeah, this could be tweaked a little bit here and there, this system that works fine, but unfortunately, you know, we are kind of like, I think I would say, past the critical mass moment that you could turn back. It's like you already jumped off the cliff and you say, let me turn back. I guess I can't. I think that's where we are, unfortunately. Some countries are like this, and the more democracy was in those countries, I think the lower you are on your little fly. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.